Yes. Hello, everyone. I have today's very special guest, and I'm so happy Jill Tomzak Redman is say yes to join me to today's live. And you are really about a treat because she is a master result coach and she is board certified trainer of hypnosis and neuro linguistic programming, which we call NLP. And she's as well head of two institutes. She will, I'm sure, explain everything to us. And she's specializing in conscious and as well unconscious mind and higher self, which is area that we really don't talk about enough in our world. And that's why I invite Jill to really give us some insight, because very often when we're doing this work in these groups that you are in, we're trying to start living different life with different life. The health is related to what we do every single day, and sometimes we have to just shift from not going outside to going in the sun, and we are not realizing how much belief and conscious unconscious mind play a role. So Jill, welcome. And just tell us more about yourself, how you came into this field, and what you like about this most.
Oh, thank you so much, Radka. I'm really happy to be here. I am, as Radka said, that I'm a master results coach, and I help women especially, although I help all people shift those unconscious beliefs that are getting in their way, figuring out what's stopping them from being their most magnificent self, and finding a way to work with them that they are doing and being the best that they can be without even thinking about it.
That's
I
wonderful.
Yeah, I I'm all about making things easier and without thinking. And if we can live in our excellence and do the things that we want to do and make it easy in spite of myself, that's what I'm all about. And that's actually one of the how I came to do what I do. I actually came to do what I do as a client. I was in a place in my life, and for me, it revolved around career. However,
Mhm.
that showed up everywhere in my life. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't doing all those things that I knew I should do. And I got to the point where I said enough was enough. So I came to what I do as a client, and it transformed my life. And my health, it shifted my health, my physical, it shifted my emotional state, my mental state, and my energetic state.
Mhm.
And knowing what happened for me, that was something that I was like, this is something that not only do I want to watching people transform themselves, this is why I do what I do. And as Radka said, I am a board certified trainer of neurolinguistic programming and trainer of hypnotherapy, and head of those two institutes that also those are schools that do teach those as well.
Mm. That's wonderful. I think the value is, as well as you said, being a patient or being a client of this what you're studying
Mhm.
now. The same for me as well, because I know how it is. I was addicted to sugar, and I have to find out like
Mhm.
why is this happening, and then I got sick with rosacea. So it's like, and I came out of it, and that's exactly right as you said. And now you love it because you know it works, and it's we have to put some energy into this work. And so I am really intrigued to find out more about when people trying to do the first step, and there are very often some limiting belief like I'm not sure I believe myself to do the work. This is the one. I'm scared, or they are afraid, or they really don't believe in themselves in terms of healing, like this. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, that happened to you, but this will not never happen to me. So
Right.
can you kind of talk about that a little bit, because this very
Sure.
I see this very often as a trait.
Mhm. Absolutely. All learning, behavior, and change happens at the unconscious level. And then, those things that we do automatically that we're not even thinking about. And what's often stopping us when we come to something that we know that we need to shift, we're holding something, even though consciously we know. Like, I know I need to lose weight. I know I need to get out and move more.
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm doing it. So if you've ever heard yourself say, I know what to do, I just can't seem to do it.
Mhm.
I don't know why I can't stick to this.
Mhm.
Uh, I've done all these things and they failed. Well,
Mhm.
why? It's because unconsciously we hold some sort of belief. There's some sort of block that's getting in
Mhm.
our way.
Mhm.
Now, the unconscious mind is fabulous. The conscious mind is the part of us that thinks, and the unconscious mind is the part of us that just is running behind the scenes all the time. Its job is to protect us 24/7, preserve the body.
Mhm.
It is designed to store memories. It is designed to keep us safe.
Mhm.
And it only does what works. Our unconscious mind is designed to get our needs met.
Mhm.
Now, it will get our needs met because that's its job. Whether or not the unconscious mind gets our needs met in the most healthy way is a different story. I'll
Mhm.
give you an example from my own life.
Yes.
I, before I went through all this, before I went through my transformation, one of the things that I would do, coming from a Polish and a German background, as we're talking about, there's a lot of starchy and really heavy foods in my life that were comfort foods.
Mhm.
And going through the physical transformation that I needed to go through, I knew that those needed to be switched out, at least in part, for something that was healthier.
Mhm.
However, every time I got stressed, every time I did, whenever I went to the grocery store, those were the foods I reached for. Even though I knew that I needed to do this because my body felt better, that I had less pain in my joints because my joints were dislocating from the inflammation.
Mhm.
Even though I knew it, because of what that was feeding, why I was doing that, because those foods hold a lot of dear memories for me.
Mhm.
My unconscious mind said I was getting my needs met of comfort during a stressful time, of
Mhm.
family, because I live in a different country from the rest of my family.
Mhm.
It didn't matter how much I thought about it. I needed that connection, and that was my connection to family and support.
Yeah.
Once I switched how I was getting those needs met by having family visits, by having more interaction with my family and finding ways to get that support, my need for those wonderfully, beautifully delicious foods that weren't serving me went away.
Mhm.
So it didn't matter how much I thought about it until I could actually get my need for family and comfort met
Mhm.
in a healthier way.
Yeah.
I was going to keep hitting that block.
Yeah.
And that's one of the examples. I didn't, and it took a coach for me to start asking me
Mhm.
those questions,
Mhm. Mhm.
start to look at it and say, hey,
Mhm.
that's what's going on. That's what
Mhm.
this means to me. It's
Mhm.
not about the food itself.
No, it's not.
It's about that need. And my unconscious mind is amazing, and so is yours. It's going to get its needs met, your needs met,
Mhm.
no matter what.
Mhm.
My job is to help guide you to find out a healthier way to get those same needs met, because your needs are 100% valid.
Mhm.
That's non-negotiable.
Mhm.
Your needs are your needs. No question. Very simply, your feelings, your needs are valid. Let's find a healthier way to get those met.
Yeah, exactly. Just and what you said is really important. What you just said, that your feelings are valid, because
Mhm.
very often, with rosacea, that there is a lot of things like especially young or any age actually, people don't recognize. Like you might feel sad about something because you are just wearing this face all the time, and
Mhm.
they just like say, well, it's you fine. So we have to really validate our feelings, and that's like there's nothing more important than validate our feelings
Exactly.
and be with it, right, with compassion. And because very often we ended up like be either victim position or really being angry, and we just
Mhm.
in this spiral of not be completely aligned with ourselves, and that's where we really, this is another road to another disease. So it's really, I like what you just said, that we have to
They're
always,
100% valid.
yeah, Yeah, and good reminder with this big with this sweet stuff or any snacks, because I caught myself because I'm teaching always the blast technique people, because emotional eating is big when you want to lose weight. So B is like you eating because you're bored, you're lonely, you are anxious, or you stressed, or you're tired. And I'm teaching, and we had a workshop that week, and it was during COVID. And I have one evening, I am just like, I'm having this chocolate. I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like, why I need to have this chocolate? And then I said, okay, well, I'm teaching these people. So what is it? And I realized actually that I really was missing my family. Because as you said, everybody is in Europe, and I'm thinking I couldn't see them because of COVID. And I caught myself really reaching for comfort food. And this is what we're doing on everyday basis. Every day,
Mhm.
is this the bond with your mate when you go to pizza night? If someone tells you stop eating pizza, you will feel threatened because you like what you will do with this friend if like beside eating
Exactly.
pizza.
A story of one of a client, a smoking cessation client. They
Mhm,
came because they wanted to quit smoking.
mhm,
And the way we approach that is not simply like I do use hypnosis. I use use the coaching. There's some great protocols. However, why are they smoking in the first place? And when everybody looks at the numbers and they know smoking's not healthy, yet we do.
mhm,
Once we started to get into the questioning
mhm,
and started to get down to it, the smoking was the bond
mhm,
to their father that passed, because that was the thing
mhm,
the two of them used to go out to do, because they were the smokers in the family.
mhm,
So during that smoke break was
mhm,
their bonding time.
mhm. I have goosebumps.
And
It's this
yeah, and
is
once
profound.
the father passed,
Mhm.
this was so the resistance was of letting go of the smoking, because it felt as if there was letting go of that bond to the father. So
Yeah.
once finding another way to get that met, the
Mhm,
smoking habit disappeared.
mhm. Oh my gosh, it's just so this is like you really you just nailed it here, because this is basically the place where we have to start. Like
Mhm.
it's not about, your doctor telling you that you have insulin resistance, you might have diabetes. It's at the first place why you want to be healthy, what you need to help, what you need your health for. And if you answer all these questions really on a deep level, then the transformation, and you will just start doing all these steps that are necessary to make, or how you will approach this. Because
Mhm.
I see this, like, people saying I need to lose weight. It's not about the bikini and the beach. It's about, like, really, for me, it's about what you need your health for. I for me, it's to be able to be there for my kids when they
Mhm.
grew up, because my mom passed away when I was 18, and I want to be there for them. So I will do everything possible to like everything that is working, that I feel great, I have energy, so that's mine. And to be there for my husband too, obviously. But it's like so. And this is where this when I started, which when I start doing the work, I say, yeah, I want to looking nice and blah blah blah. But no, it's much more deep, and we have to realize like what it is for us, because that's the North Star that we have to follow, right?
Right. The- and that's the thing. We all have these real needs and these ideas of what has to happen. And it all has to start from ourselves. Now, we can want to do things for others, be motivated. However, it's not going to stick unless it's truly for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our needs are valid. Our thoughts are valid. Our feelings are valid.
Mm-hmm.
If we are staying heavily into the negative thoughts, that's when that's out of balance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Staying deeply in negative thoughts, that's when it's like now we need to shift. And why are we holding on to it? Because there's something there that we have to release. Our feelings will give us data. They'll give us data as to where something is off.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give us data to where it's like, okay, I need to look further at that. And a lot of us have these ways of behaving, and because we all do this, it's called strategies, and how we behave and how we do things, any behaviors. A lot of these things and these ideas and these, whether it's a limiting belief, a block, were put in when we were really young. And this is our unconscious programming.
Mm-hmm.
It's, what were you brought up to believe? What do you know? And what do you hold true?
Mm-hmm.
we made a lot of these decisions. They were put in when we were really young, when we had some fewer resources.
Mm-hmm.
And the decisions that your 6-year-old self made were based on the resources that somebody had, that you had at the time. The decisions you think now, maybe a few years later, you have a few more resources and you can make some better decisions instead of running your life on the same decisions that a 6-year-old made. And it's updating our program. We update the apps on our phone all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have software that was, when our phones were put out. However, my phone from 2005 is not going to work with today's technology.
No. Yeah, same
right?
thing,
So
right?
things have to be updated.
Mm-hmm.
We have to update our own programs.
Mm-hmm.
Because along the way, because life happens,
Mm-hmm.
it does.
Mm-hmm.
We can't ignore that.
Yeah.
And so things happen, and we make these decisions unconsciously, and which
Mhm.
stop and get us in our way. And then we begin with the negative talk. And anytime we start with that negative talk,
Mhm.
I'll give you a clue and a hint on this one. The unconscious mind takes everything personally. So anytime you are using negative speak, whether it's self-talk, whether it's talking, even just that everything you hear, the unconscious mind starts to take it personally and it thinks it's about them and starts to internalize it. And it can't process negative. So if you're saying, I don't want to eat that, the unconscious mind hears, I want to eat that. Because that's what happens. And I was wondering what's happening for me. Is like the first time I go on a diet, yep. And as soon as I decide I'm going on a diet, man, I'm hungry. I have to eat everything.
Mhm.
That's what's happening. So,
Is that amazing?
yeah. However, because that happens, start to speak in the positive. Say the way you want it, not the way you don't want it.
Yeah.
If you want to eat healthy, I want to eat healthy.
Mhm.
I'm always in the positive. And every time all that self-talk that runs inside our heads
Mhm.
is actually a hypnosis track.
Mhm.
So, and all that stuff if you actually played what was running inside your head, if you played it out loud, would you say that to anybody? What
Yeah.
happens? So if you want to start to change your programming,
Mhm.
the first thing to begin is changing the self-talk in the
Yeah.
head. Get rid of the negatives and watch what you're saying.
Mhm.
Even to yourself in your head, it takes everything personally. And you start to begin to create the
Mhm.
behavior, the change, and the reality that you're looking for.
Yeah, I loved it so much, Jill. It's just so. This is the really song to my heart because I was master in this. And I was talking so awful to myself all my life, and I'm very careful now what really is coming from this because I know it has such a power, and we can really create new reality when we are changing the way how we talk to each
I
other.
know.
And so I will encourage everyone out there give us some example, like going from this limited belief to like what you see that people most saying, and how they can change, like what will be the sentence they say instead, so that people have something concrete to work with, because maybe for someone
Okay.
it's very abstract, like
And
what they're talking about. So some like example
okay.
about the like the weight, or if someone is, I don't know, anything that you have some clients, I'm sure, and just anything that just come into your mind into this. I would be intrigued, because I would love to I mean, I used to say, I forgot now, but you know I still have some limiting belief about some things, of course, but I had much more before, and it was about what I was doing, or what I was eating, or how I look. People say, "Oh, I'm fat." Like this is, I think, sentence that people say. So instead of I'm feeling fat, I'm feeling fat, or oh, I feel so sick, or I am sick, this is as well like big
Mhm.
statement, right? And people don't realize it that this is like, so what?
Right. Like when you're saying I'm sick of this, I'm sick, I'm feeling sick, I'm unhealthy.
Yes.
The unconscious mind says, "Oh, is that what we want? Okay, we'll make ourselves that."
Yeah. Yes.
It's
Exactly.
trying to listen to you.
Exactly. So
So,
for
here
example,
you go. So here you go. When
yeah, tell me.
one of the things I do here, I've tried everything and nothing works.
Hmm.
I've learned a lot from varying things, and I'm figuring out what works and what doesn't.
Hmm.
I always fail. I do a lot of learning. I'm so stupid.
Oh yeah.
I'm so stupid. I am I know a lot of things, and I just because I haven't seen it yet doesn't mean I can't learn it.
Yeah, right. I know a lot of
You
things,
would you
and I
wouldn't
just didn't learn this
yeah.
one yet.
If you
Doesn't
haven't
it
had the
sound
chance to
better?
do something, I always fail. Always.
No, no, right? No, but we just,
Everything I've tried has some sort of result.
yeah.
I have no willpower.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it takes a lot of willpower to stay in the same place in an ever-changing, ever-moving universe.
Mm-hmm. That's big one as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the desire and the will to change.
Mm-hmm.
Flipping it around,
Mm-hmm.
anytime you hear negative self-talk,
Mm-hmm.
put it around to the positive. Say it the way you want it.
Mm-hmm. Would it help if people like use like visualization, and they dream of the picture that they want to see themselves?
Making an end result, a dream, um, as real as you can is really great. And we use that a lot with hypnosis. We
Yes.
want the end visualization
Yes.
on it. And
So
make it as real as you can. Make it have all the right sounds, all the right feelings, all the
mhm.
right sights. It's looking perfect. It's beautiful. What does that picture look like?
And this is really powerful exercise because we don't do this at all. Like in we just go on this autopilot every day because we have so much to-do lists. We're busy and we just like lie on the bed in the evening because we're just so tired. That's majority of us live like this.
Well,
And
here's something with hypnosis. Hypnosis is trance is one of the tools that I use, and we're in trance most of the time most of the day. Like 90% of our day, we're already in trance. So
mhm,
let's make it the trance of solution versus the trance
mhm,
of problem.
yeah.
And that sweet spot, like you were saying when you're lying on the bed, that sweet spot just before you fall asleep.
Mhm,
You're not quite asleep yet. You're not fully awake.
mhm,
That's a sweet spot of dropping into trance and giving yourself suggestions of magnificence, of success, of what the next day is going to be like,
mhm,
what you're going to do that's going to just move you toward your magnificence.
mhm,
And whether that happens to be weight loss and diet and
mhm,
exercise,
mhm,
whether that happens to be taking further actions for other parts of your health,
mhm, mhm,
or your interactions with your family or your
mhm.
boss, all those play into part. So all those stresses, I know, Rodney, you're probably really familiar with this phrase, our issues are in our tissues.
Oh my
So,
god, I love it. I didn't know this one, but I love it.
oh, okay.
Oh
Our
my
issues are in our
god,
tissues. So often
true,
what we hold on to,
true.
the stress that we hold on to, the negative things,
Mhm,
that grudge that we're holding on to,
mhm, mhm,
it's it shows up physically.
mhm.
This is why people like yourself, we know that we have to work on both pieces. You work on the physical, you start there if it's a
Yeah,
physical issue, and then you also need to work on the all the other pieces that play into that.
yeah. It has to go come together. That's why
Right.
diet don't work. that doesn't work.
Diet alone does not work.
No, it
Diet
doesn't work.
alone.
No.
It's
Yeah.
that it's the mental game. It's the emotional game because our emotions are there and they're valid. What are our
Mhm.
emotions telling us?
Mhm.
Why does this particular thing get us really worked up?
Mhm.
What is it here that I need to learn about that
Mhm.
I'm holding on to that is getting me worked up, now getting me stressed, and now my stomach is hurting, and now I'm holding on because I'm all stressed, I'm kindling onto that inflammation in my body, which is
Yeah.
aggravating the fact that and it's just a spiral.
Yeah.
The cool
That's
thing is that because it can do it that way, we can shift it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And go the
We can
other way.
and we can
Go
do it.
up.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's an ongoing game. It is a game that does take attention, and there's some things to do, and sometimes and you're gonna need some assistance with that.
Mhm.
We're not designed to be isolated creatures. We're designed to be social. There's a reason why we support each this is a reason why we have villages in our social structure.
Mhm.
We raise everybody up, those who are with us. So it's a whole holistic look,
Mhm.
and it can
I
start
love
with it just takes one step, one small piece, and one
it.
shift in one area. One shift in one area can start to bring that shift and
Mhm.
magnificence across your entire life.
Yeah.
All
I
you
love
need
it.
all you need to do is start the shift and understand that it's a process.
Mhm.
There's no
Mhm.
magic
No,
bullet.
it's not magic.
There
There
is
is
there's
magic
a
doing
there
the
is
work.
magic, but there's no singular.
No.
There may be
Yeah.
something that's gonna start and catapult everything, but it
Mhm.
starts to build. And
Mhm.
because you've built this life and this beauty, you're this incredible, we're all of these incredible, magnificent people
Mhm.
that happen to have a few things that are off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all it is just begin shifts.
Yes. Yes.
And
It.
and that's it. And that's if I
Mhm.
believe you anything, is just watch the language, change the language from negative to positive.
Yeah.
And anytime you hear yourself, even in your head, especially in
Mhm.
your head,
Mhm.
speaking negatively about yourself,
Mhm.
cancel that, cancel, and
Yeah.
say it the way you want it. The
Yes.
shifts begin, and your reality begins to
Mhm.
change the one that you're looking for.
It's so true. It's so true. And it when someone listening to this and they never did this work, this thing, like they
Mhm,
still talk about themselves like this, just try it because you'll be amazed what it will do with you. So, for
mhm,
example, I really lift. I don't do it anymore because I'm in this mode like nonstop. But when I was going from this, negative talks to positive, I as well, I was doing exactly what you said before. I would fall asleep. I would just visioning the day goes well, that like
mhm,
everything that I was busy, of course, that everything goes as I wish. And what happened that morning is actually because you're in this positive mindset, the things, even if it doesn't work out, because you have this positive mindset, you take it like
mhm.
with ease. And you just say, okay, didn't work out. Well, I try next time.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
even if it's
so important.
even if that the thought is, "I'm gonna be able to handle whatever comes my
Yes,
way tomorrow."
yes, absolutely. Yeah, so I love this so much because this was my basically this piece was my biggest learning about when I was sick, because I stopped seeing problems as problems,
Mhm,
and this is just for me is a lot of lessons. And I think it's for like this is the best I can advise to anyone to really see anything. And Kelly was talking about it now in our retreat that
mhm.
we had, that
Yeah,
every of problems or obstacles we can, it's just redirection to what we should be going, right? What
and
path we're
is it
taking.
the problem, or is it just simply a case of logistics?
Yes, and that as well. Yeah,
And
exactly.
just and what's the opportunity? If this is a true obstacle coming in my way, where is it trying to point me?
Yes.
And what do I
Absolutely.
need to keep looking at?
Yes. Oh, I love it. I could talk with you the whole day.
Okay.
But I think we have few gems. So really to shift, just recap. So shift from negative self-talk to
From
positive.
negative self-talk to positive,
Absolutely.
remove unconscious mind takes everything personally.
Mm-hmm.
It includes everything we're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
So positive words,
Mm-hmm.
positive language, Say it the way you want it.
Hmm. But still, like, I don't want that people think that they will lie to themselves. They have to, all the feelings they have are valid, right?
Exactly.
It's two different things. Like,
Right.
yes, it's like recognize when you said, recognize when whatever feelings is there, just try to flip the language that's coming
Right.
from your mouth
And,
to
you know,
positive.
if you're going to be angry, and sometimes you're going to be angry because there's a real reason to be angry.
Hmm.
Be angry.
Yes,
Your needs are 100% valid.
yes, yes,
100%.
yes. This is
Find
amazing.
out what there. If you're still angry about one small thing 2 hours
Mhm.
later, then maybe there's something off.
Mhm.
However, then you just figure out, okay, well, why am I still angry?
Yes.
Positive, say it the way you want it. Your
Mhm.
words begin to create your reality that's
Mhm.
around you.
Mhm. And may I have one more question, Jill?
Sure.
What do you think about, so we did this, and then as well, before you were suggesting that before people go to sleep, they
Mhm.
can just visualize how the day can be the next day, like be
Yes.
ready for it, because that's what helped them tremendously. That's a really good one. And I can say, because I did that too. And
Mhm.
I would like that if you can shed the light a little bit on journaling, because do you have idea, or you do that, or you not really?
Journaling is really, really beneficial.
Mhm.
For many of us, that's how we can get out our feelings and our thoughts.
Yeah.
Journaling will allow us to begin to explore further because our thoughts can take us further down. And as we begin to journal, we start to increase the rapport that we start to have with our conscious and our unconscious mind.
Mhm.
Especially a lot of us, and myself included,
Mhm.
used to unconscious mind is, that part of that intuition piece used
Yes.
to go like, "Nope, don't talk to me." When you know better and you ignore it anyway, journaling will start to increase that connection, and you're gonna start to believe it. It's gonna start to believe you, and you guys are all your conscious mind, unconscious mind, yourself, your higher self will all start to work in the same direction.
Mhm.
Journaling will allow you to explore your
Mhm.
feelings. It's
Mhm.
extremely beneficial, and it's also really good to go back through it and see where
Mhm.
your journey is. For
Mhm.
those times, like at the beginning, we said, I'm a results coach. That means I work with evidence. I work
Mhm.
with what results are we looking for and what evidence do we have to prove. And this is when you go back, you see the evidence of your journey and how far you've come. And
Mhm.
sometimes when you're having those down days, when you look how far you come and you've got the evidence in front of you,
Mhm. Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
powerful. That's powerful. But
Mhm.
as well, to clarify to everyone, journaling here we mean like you let your hand just go without filter, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
just go. Make
Just
sure
go.
nobody's reading. It's just for you, and
Right.
just go.
It,
Like,
it is
not
it's
some
just for
nice.
you.
Yeah, just for you. Exactly.
And
That's
it
more.
allows you to explore some of the feelings and some of the thoughts and where you are. And
Mhm.
it's actually extremely beneficial for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And if you do art journaling as well,
Mhm.
journaling doesn't have to be just words.
Yeah.
Art
Anything.
journaling and
That.
whatever type, that connection, the mind and body connection, which we
Mhm.
talked about,
Mhm.
it's literally your mind and body connection
Oh,
coming
that's
out your hand.
wonderful. So I think here you have 3 tips that you have plenty of work to do now after talking to Jill. I'm sure I would love to have you back sometimes, that we can
I
explore
would love to be back.
area of this, because I believe in this so much, because it shows in my life. I see it in my patients and clients' life, that it's this only way how we can shift the needle really and
Mhm.
feel healthier and happier. That's what we want. We all want to be
Yes,
happy, and we all want to be healthy. So Jill, thank you so much again.
you're
And
welcome.
before you go, tell us where people can find you if they.
Probably one of the fastest ways is on Facebook,
Mhm.
Jill Tomzak Redman,
Mhm.
results coach. You can find me there.
Mhm.
And that's probably, I also am under J Tom Red Coach on Instagram.
Okay, very good. So maybe I will. We will put your all the information in the underneath the post, so people can click and find
Excellent.
there and ask question if needed. That will be wonderful.
Fabulous.
Thank you so much
You're
again, and
welcome. Thank
everybody.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
have a
Bye-bye.
lovely day. Take care. Bye.
Bye.